This is an overview of the Swiftcount platform. We're going to focus on the general functionality and highlight some of the new features. So, like always, you can log in by going to swiftcount.com and click on login. It takes you to the login. If you don't have an account, try it free. First time you go through, you'll go through a quick wizard that'll just allow you to enter all your information. Very easy. So once you log in, you get taken to the hub. That's just an overview of a snapshot of everything that's going on in your company. There is some notification that will tell you what's going on if your products are low or whatever. Analytics is some of the analytics once you start having some data. We see a view of your products, and here we don't have any count, so if we click on here, we'll see a video. One other thing that I just want to highlight is at the bottom right hand corner here, there is a little rocket ship that has a bunch of little tools that allow you, so if you click on any of them, you'll go through a little video just highlighting how to do certain things, and once you get it, you click on OK, get it, and then you'll see that that little video is actually marked as viewed with a little check mark. When all the videos are viewed, the rocket will disappear and it'll actually go into our activities icon here. So just to give you an overview of the hub, you have general information here. Here you have our integrations icon. That's where you would connect if you had an integration with FreshBooks, QuickBooks, Xero, or any of our other integration packages. We're not going to talk about that today. There is other videos for that. The activity is just a brief shortcuts to different aspects. You can create here things like categories, counts, users. You can go to our YouTube channel, or you can bring back the little rocket ship with the information any given time that you want to see some information. And we also have access to our online knowledge database, which we call our account coach. This is just a list of the notification. This is a calendar. And then if you click on your profile, you'll see more information. Like on your profile, that's where you'll be able to see your invoices. You'll be able to set up specific. So I'm on my profile here. This is where I would see my own information. This is also where I see the plan that I'm on. And from here, I'm able to upgrade or downgrade my plan if needed. If I need to, I can actually reset my database. This would allow me to clean up everything in my data and start fresh if I wanted to after I've placed. This is also where I change my password. Here I have all my notification. Billing would allow me to see all my invoices. Privacy settings. Regional settings, if I want to have different languages, we support French, English, and Spanish. User permission is where you would actually be allowed to go through and edit other users, not you as the administrator, but you'd be able to give access or allow action on any module within the system to different users. And every single module in the system has an access and an action, and then the location has an additional one. And basically what that allows you is you can actually remove access to location to certain users. So if you have multiple location and you want user to be very specific to a store or to a bar or to a kitchen, to something that's a physical location where they would have no business seeing products in a different location, this is where you could restrict that. And then Help Us Grow is just our referral program. So I'm going to go back to the hub. This was just to give you an idea of what is on your profile. So I'm back in the hub. The little rocket ship is back because I haven't finished all my little classes. Once I finish my classes, then I'll be able to, it'll actually disappear. There is 5 main sections in Swiftcount. You're probably going to use mostly the products, the counts, and the analytics. We also have the ability to manage locations, and we also have the ability to print labels. So let's go ahead and create well, first we'll go to the products. Let's look at what the products feature. So when I go to the products tab, this is where I see a very quick view of my products. I have all the different fields here, and they're all searchable. I can type anything in any of those boxes, and instantly it'll actually restrict the view to those items. So what I'm viewing here is the part number, the description, on-hand quantity available. The reason we have a difference between on-hand and available is that we feature something called movement that allow you to commit some items. And when they're committed, they're not available until you actually process a movement. And we'll do that a little bit later in this demo. Status, if we don't want to see an item, we can change the status to inactive. And obviously it has to be with no inventory or no action being taken on it for it to be disactivated. The category, you can have as many categories as you want. They can be created on the fly. The cost is Movement is anything that's been going in and out since the last time we processed. A new feature in this current version is the ability to add tags. The tags can be created from the settings, and in some places it can be created on the fly as well. And then for each product, we have the ability to have a tag and a comment attached to a tag. So I'll show you that in a minute. The tagging function is actually very powerful, allows you to identify almost everything you want. So for example, if I go see one of my products, so I'm looking at the detailed view of a product, and I just got there by clicking on view on the right hand side on the product listing. So on the top part, I have the product's detail. There's a little more information here. I can have a picture. I can also have various tags attached to the product. So for example, I have an Amazon tag here, and there is also a little comment attached to a tag that tells me that this product is actually exclusive to Amazon. I can also have additional information, keeping the front counter. So I mean, there is no limit to what you can add tags to, and that's basically just little post-it notes that you put virtually on the products that allow you to just keep track of where they are, and you can always add a new one. We call them Swift ID, and the categories can be added from here. I can just click on add and create a new category on the fly. We also support multiple units of measure. The units of measure are actually controlled from the settings, and then at the bottom of this page I'm able to see all the movements that have taken place, and I can pick a date. And if I pick a range of date, I can see what movements. For example, I can see here that on June the 6th, on June the 12th, these items came in on the PO, and I can even see the PO number. So having the movement just gives you the ability to track what comes in and what goes out. And if you're integrated with any of our accounting partners, then that would actually be reflected in the accounting system as well. So that was a brief overview of the products. Now we're going to do I'm going to skip count for a minute because I want to go back and actually do a count for you very quickly. But if I click on location are actually physical locations within your warehouse, within your store, within your restaurant, however you want to look at it. And then the items gets assigned to different locations. So to create a location, you would just go here and create the location, and you can actually then, once they're created, you can move items between the locations, and we call that a transfer. So you can actually have the items move. So a typical example would be if I'm in a restaurant, I can have a location as a bar and a location as a kitchen. And with the feature that I was displaying before that could allow me to have a specific user to a specific location actually control what the person in the kitchen sees, they probably wouldn't want to see the vodka and all the other items in the bar and so on. And you can also have the same items in multiple locations. And from the products, you can view the different location. You can also view from here any of the item. If you click on any of the products, you'll be able to see the location that it's available in. And you can also do transfers, obviously, not only from here, but on the mobile device as well. And I will be looking at the mobile device in a few minutes. So the location is very powerful. The other thing that you can do is you can actually assign, when you assign location to a specific individual, you can have the same product in 3 different locations, but have 3 different people doing 3 different things to the same products, and it would only affect the ones that are in their locations. In other words, if somebody's selling something and is in location 3, that would only affect that, and the person in location 2 would not be able to see that. So that's very useful if you have multiple location environment, like a chain of stores or multiple retail stores. So that's the locations. The labels, I'm just going to spend 10 seconds on it. So you have the ability to print labels for your products or for your locations. We also have an analytics module. The analytics module is actually the place where you'll find all your history. So by default, we'll show you any transaction that have taken place, whatever date you want. Again, you can search them. You can also search the tags. So for example, if I had assigned a specific PO to some items that came in, I would be able to go and search for that specific item. So having the ability to go back and search gives you a view of everything you had. And once you've found the item, whatever you filtered here, you can report on them, either do a very detailed report by location or just a listing that would show you everything that moved from one location to another. So if you wanted to track the movement between buildings, the movement between the kitchen and the fridge, you'd be able to go back anytime in the 12 years, in the last 12 months, and view that. There is also an overview of the transactions that you've done, and that's going to be just a little more generic and a little more specific. So for example, in the month of June, I've done 2 counts, and I'd be able to view the details of those counts from the analytics. And I could do it as a count, or I could do it from the movements. Swiftcount was designed specifically to count your products, do the physical count, and actually validate what you have in stock at any given time. Either do a full count or a partial count or cycle count, and then move them in and out. So we're now going to look at the counts. So the idea is you can create a number of counts. So to create a count, you just click on New Count, and then you enter certain information such as the name of the count. For example, I just want to count my beers. You can select the users. By default, it's going to select everybody, but you can deselect whoever you want. You can do by location, so if you're just counting the bar in a specific location, or you can do a custom one, which is what I'm going to do now. And I could have done by categories as well, but I'm just going to do it using the description as the filter. So I just want to count those 4 items. So as soon as I do this, I create my count. I can now go to my mobile device and I'll be able to start scanning those items. So I am now ready to start counting. So I actually click view to view the details of the count. And now the next step is to actually go onto my mobile device and log in as the same user or one of the count user. I can see now that the count has been automatically ported to my mobile device. This is a count that I'm doing. I could have multiple, but I'm just going to do one. So to get started, I can either scan the products by clicking on the little icon here, and it would open the camera, and I would be able to scan a barcode. I can also use a Bluetooth barcode scanner, but in this case, because I only have 4 items, I'm just going to start. And what it'll do, it'll actually go to the first item. From here, I can select the unit of measure. I can select the location that I'm counting, so that I actually would specify that I'm counting in a very specific location. And to count, we can use our fast counter, which is our 1-finger count. I have my finger on the left here, and I'm able to use those buttons here to very quickly count. So I'm expected to find 300. If I count 300, I just would tap 100 3 times, and if there's an extra one, I just tap the 1. I can also use my little slider tool here to adjust my quantities. And finally, I can also pick my calculator by just toggling from a calculator, so I could use mathematical expression to actually do my count. So let's say this is the item that I find. All I have to do is swipe from right to left, from left to right, to update the information. And as soon as I do that, somebody would actually know on the desktop that this has actually been counted, and we would be able to view the location that it was counted to. So let's continue and do another one. So as I'm counting, it's automatically updating here, and I could have multiple people doing this at the same time. It wouldn't make a difference. So when all the items have been counted, the system will give me the option to complete the count. Now, if I didn't count all the location, I wouldn't complete it. I would go back and continue counting. But in this case, I've completed the count. If I wanted to do a review, I can just slide down my screen, and it'll give me the ability to view any item that I've counted. What that shows me as a user myself what I've counted. If other people had counted it as well, I'd be able to see it as well. I can do it for all the item, or anywhere on one item. I can actually do it as well, just to be able to review what was counted for this item. And if everything is okay and I'm the only counter, I could just complete the count, and that would then make it available for other counters, because now it's been completed. So the next step is actually to review it from the desktop. So on the desktop, I can quickly see that I was over on this one, under of this one, and these ones were bang on. So if I wanted to see more information, I can click on view and view the detail as to where these were counted. I also have the ability to do a recount. So if I wanted to send my users, recount them, I can also tag from here. I can print a report from here, a discrepancy. I can also show a list of what hasn't been scanned if there was items that were not scanned. But if everything is good, the only thing I need to finish the count is to process the count. And if I'm integrated to an accounting package, this would actually update my accounting package. If not, it would just update Swiftcount. So the count is done. It's giving me a discrepancy for each location. So because some location didn't have any products and I didn't count them, then there is no discrepancy. But the ones that did have a discrepancy, I will see not only the discrepancy, but also see the dollar value of the discrepancy. I can export them to Excel or to PDF. And now that this count has been processed, my inventory has been adjusted. And if I looked, for example, at the blonde beer, I had 300 before I started. Now, if I go back to my products, I'll be able to see that I have 309. There is my 309 here. So the other function that is very useful in Swiftcount is the ability to do movement. So I'm going to do that as well. That actually can be created either on the mobile or on the desktop. From the mobile, I just take any item again. I can scan them using the little camera here, or I can just pick the item. So for example, if I want to move some blonde beer. So from the movement module, what I can do is I can receive, which would be the plus. I can ship, which would be the minus. I can pick which location I'm going to receive them into. And I can also assign a tag. So if I tap on the little tag here, if I'm receiving items against a purchase order, for example, I'd be able to select my purchase order. And I can also add a comment that would be, for example, the purchase order number. And when that's done, I have the ability to lock it. And what the lock would do is that it would allow me to receive multiple items on the same PO or on the same tag. And as soon as I receive something, so for example, if I receive 25 of this, what it does, it automatically shows it. So this is now available because I've received I received 25. It's now showing me the availability that I have the new ones that just came in. All I have to do to complete that transaction is what we call a process movement. The reason we did that is we want to give you the ability to review reports before you actually process a movement. So for example, if you click on report and click on end process movement, you'll be able to see that one movement that I just created. So you'll know that a receipt was done specifically for that part number, and now the inventory. So as soon as you process it, the inventory would be adjusted. Again, there is an option to update the connected accounting package. So if you were connected to an accounting package, you would actually go ahead and update your quantities on hand in the accounting package as well as in Swiftcount. So once the movement has been processed, then the on-hand quantity gets adjusted. And so just as a recap, the movements allow you to receive or ship. You can tag the item, you can lock the tag so that you can receive multiple items under the same movement. And once that is done, then you're able to go back and update by processing the movement. The other functions on the mobile, I'm just going to cover that very quickly, is we have the ability to do transfers. Transfers are basically movement, but they're lateral movement. They're not in and out, they're just from one location to another. So that's what you would use if you were transferring items from the kitchen to the bar, or from one physical store to another. You would use a transfer as opposed to a movement, just to update the information in both. And finally, the last function on the scanner is what we call the Swift Scan. The Swift Scan allows you to scan any item that's not in your inventory and add it in your inventory. By just scanning it, it will automatically populate the description if it finds it on a central database of over 100 million items. You can assign a category, you can assign a cost, and it'll actually create it. And again, if you're integrated, it will also create it in your integrated accounting partner. That can be done from the mobile, or that can also be done from the desktop in the Swift Lookup function, which is located on the Products tab. The last bit of information I wanted to just touch on is the ability to integrate to various systems. We are in the process of building a whole ecosystem of application, and we want Swiftcount to be the central hub for all your product management needs. So you can connect to any accounting package. These are the ones that are live, but the other ones should be here very soon. You can connect to Point of Sale, where we're about a week away to connect to Square, and we'll have a whole bunch more. Shopify, Magento, also Etsy, eBay, WooCommerce. We're also integrating to third parties such as Sixstation. So the idea is we want Swiftcount to be the central repository for your items, and every time you sell something in any of your platform, they all get updated. So that will be live within the next few weeks, and we're just working hard on just finalizing all these integrations. Feel free to contact us. I will put my email, and I thank you for your attention.